All right, students, today, if you're here with me right now, that means you problem two, you got it incorrect, but that's fine. We're going to work through this together. I'm going to guide you through this problem and we're going to break it down. We're going to find out what the correct answer is. All right, so first, let's go on and read our problem. We have Gary had $175. He then spent 17 on a fish tank, which number line represents one way to determine the amount of money Gary has left. So one of the first things we want to go ahead and do is let's go through and find the numbers, any numbers throughout that were given throughout this problem. So Gary had what? $175. On the circle those. He then spent what? 17. Another circle or square circle on a fish tank. All right, so those are all the numbers we're working with. So now we're going to go ahead and look again at our question. It says, which number line represents one way to determine the amount of money Gary has left? So we know right now when we're going to be looking at these to find out which one of these number lines represent the amount of money that Gary has left. So one quick tip I want to give you about when you're dealing with a number line. When you're dealing with a number line, remember this: the further you go to the left, your number will decrease, and the further you go to the right, your number will opposite increase. All right. So, and that's very important to know. And also, the arrow will represent our endpoint. So it's going to tell us the endpoint Gary would have, like how much money he will have left. So that's what the arrow is representing, the endpoint. All right. So let's go back and look at this problem. We're going to try to pull out any key math terms that we may find. All right. So it says Gary had $175. He then spent 17 on a fish tank. All right. Yep. I heard someone said that spent is actually a math action word, and they are correct. Because if you spend something, what is it? What operation is it telling us to do if we spend something? Think about it. If you go to the store and you have to get that new video game for the PS5 or whatever, and you have to spend money, are you receiving money or are you losing it? Correct. It's going away from you, you're losing it. So if it's leaving you, that will be the operation is going to be what? Subtraction, correct. So he spent 17 on a fish tank. Which number line represents one way to determine the amount of money Gary has left? And left is another one because we want to find out what's left. In order to find out what's left, we're going to be doing what again? Subtraction. Good job. So we already know that our endpoint since we're dealing with subtraction, this problem, we know that our endpoint or our arrow is going to be heading towards what? What side of the number line? The left or the right? Correct. The left. So we're going to circle that. All right. So if we know that right quick, what we can go ahead and do is eliminate any answer choice that is showing us the opposite. So it's saying that he was at what 175, and then he increased to one. Wow, to 192. So we know B cannot be correct. So let's go ahead and eliminate that. Do we have another one like that? Oh, C is saying the same thing. He's going to the right. And we know it's an increase. And we're dealing with what? A decrease of money because he spent $17. All right. So now we need to find out how can we find out our solution. So now we have our two numbers, 175 and he spent 17. So let's look at it. 175 spent means subtracted. So 175 subtracted by 17 should give us our end amount or what's left. So let's do a standard algorithm right quick for this. So we have $175 subtracted by 17. All right. All right. So 5 minus 7 is, can we do 5 minus 7? No, because 5 is less than 7. And doesn't, and subtraction doesn't work like that. So we need to borrow next door. We take from our 7, turns to a 6. Good job. Bring our 1 down. Now our 5 turns to a what? 15. So now let's do it. 15 minus 7 is what? Good job. 8. All right. Now let's go over. 6 subtracted by 1 will give you 5. Good job. And we will just what? Bring down our 1. 1 subtracted by 0 will be 1 all day. All right. So we know what's left should be what? 158. So let's go look at the 2 answer choices left. Now, the good thing, well, this is a good strategy. Normally, on any test you take, it's always 2 answer choices that can be eliminated, which really increases your likelihood of answering the problem right. It gives you a 50-50 chance. So let's look at A. So A has him starting at what? How much money did he start with? Right here we have one. Let's read the number chart. So we have 173. So this would be 74, and this would be 75. So he started at 175, and he ended when he spent. He ended at what number? Psh, wow, what's the likelihood? 158. So the first answer choice we look at happens to be the correct one. So A is your correct answer. Let's go and look at D just to see what was wrong or how they tried to maybe trick us, because there's a lot of tricking going on in some of these problems. So he started at once. We have 172, 173, 174, 175. That's the starting point. He goes back and he stops at what? 157. So literally, this problem can be missed by having trouble with your standard algorithm, because that they try to trick you with one less than the actual answer. But we know our correct answer is A. Good job, students.